Very interesting weather we're having today. Well, at least in better news, the restoration of Rothmore Castle has begun. The trees in the courtyard have been cut down, scaffolding has been put up. It's starting to look more like the place I remember already. It's pretty soon we'll be having parties and balls in this room just like we had in the old days. The steepness of this cliffside does still worry me. That's certainly didn't used to be so close to the castle. Yes, good point, Spider. I don't need my parasol now that the rain is gone, and it is nighttime. It would be nice to have that fountain running again. Let's not mess with that person. No, yes, down here everything remains much the same. Yes, I'll clean this place up soon enough. I should have really done before, as we should be receiving visitors today. Yes, it is quite dark. Then again, it's always been that way, even as a child when I used to run and hide behind these pillars, play hide and seek. Might look like a dark place, but it was always home to me. Really quite a wonderful place to grow up. How does that night seem to leave? Yes, I suppose I am to keep up some of these cobwebs for you spiders. It is odd that I can speak to spiders. That's very much a new thing ever since I've been revived. It is especially odd considering the late King Kydron always used to call me his spider because I seem to have eyes everywhere. Ironic, to say the least. I wonder what to do with these cells. Because the war is over, so really there's no one left to keep here anymore. They're just highly secured crypts right now, as they once were. And then again, there's this room. There's not really much point in cleaning up this room. It's not really the bedroom I use. Still surprised that no one came to steal this gold in any of the last 200 years. And again, I'm even more lucky that no one still thought to open the vault that kept my letters safe all these 200 years. Otherwise, how else would I have been able to invite this Mara person to come here? If I'm to remove Prince Asher from power, it's very important that I have allies within different factions. Now, if all goes well, this Mara should be leaving Rothmore as a friend, rather than just a... what do I call it? A pen pal? A correspondence? Correspondent, rather. Do you know the interesting place about this part of the castle? It's older than anything above stairs, and that was built by the first Lord Rothmore. So that means... well, I don't know who built it. It's at least 1,000 years old. Used to fascinate me as a child. When I wasn't playing with any of my siblings, I would go to the library and read up on the history of this place. I do hope I gave them the right time and day. They should be here any second. How ancient am I? Well, God, it's been difficult. It's difficult to tell given how long I've been dead for. 500-600, something like that. Whereas the Rothmore title goes back 800 to 1,000. So I've been around for most of the family's existence. Well, most of the family's existence is really just me. Yes, I am old, but I'd like to think that my age has given me some wisdom along the way. Should be any minute now. I hesitate to go upstairs because I can never tell when it's daytime or nighttime, and I'd rather avoid the kind of sunroom treatment that Chiron used to give Asher. A clock, yes, that might be a good idea. I'm sure I used to have one. Some grandfather clock somewhere, but the wood will have rotted away in these last 200 years. A skylight, I doubt, would be the best idea to install here, considering how much ground is above these vaulted ceilings. Should be presentable.
Hello? Anyone home? Fuck it, I'm just coming in. Oh!
Aha! So you did respond to my invitation?
Yeah. Sorry about, being late. Wasn't sure I was actually gonna come. You're Lord R, I assume?
Yes, indeed. Please, do forgive me for speaking to you without a proper introduction. My name?
Oh, no, it's fine.
is Lord Aloysius de Rothmore. I am the Lord and Viscount of this magnificent architecture you see around you. Well, what's left of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no offense, this kind of just looks like a crypt. Just
Well, it was used that way for many centuries.
Oh.
It's
Well, that would explain the aura of deadness.
Sadly, it's the only part of the castle that survived more or less entirely intact, so until the upstairs part is rebuilt, I'm forced to live down here.
Oh. Oh, is that what the weird wood was for?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the scaffolding.
Nice. Well, I think you already know who I am, considering the 3 letters you sent me.
Yes, I hope I didn't disturb you too much with my correspondence.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Waking up with letters in my bedroom on 3 separate occasions from someone I've never met. Not concerning at all.
Yes, I am aware of the fact that my methods of communication were a bit crass, but you'll understand that I have to maintain my secrecy about these things when the prince is concerned.
Yeah, sure. I guess I could see that. Still doesn't mean you have to leave them in person's bedroom. Anyway,
Well, I didn't want to have one of your roommates accidentally read one of them.
That's fair. So you wanted to meet in person?
Yes, to discuss the contents of the letters I've shared with you from the prince himself.
Mm-hmm. So you said Rothmore, right? So this was your castle, your family's castle?
Yes, my castle now, as it has been for about, 500 odd years, I want to say.
That's insane. Okay.
Before that,
Cool.
the human Rothmores held it, but I'm the first of the family to be a vampire.
Oh. Did you, kill them or something?
Well, when the late Lord and Lady Rothmore, my parents, died, it was at the hand of vampires, and I decided rather than fight them and seek vengeance for my parents, I thought it would be a better option for my survival to join them and have myself returned voluntarily.
Oh, that's kind of fucked. Alright.
Well, it's the decision to which I owe my being alive, or some form of it.
Yeah. I guess sometimes people are put in impossible situations.
Quite.
So, you were housing people during the war.
Yes.
In your prison cells, right? That was what that one correspondence was about?
Yes, it's not a part of my past I'm especially proud of, but when the war went on, those that the general, Asher, did not outright murder or turn on the spot were transferred here and kept in cells that were formerly the crypts of Rothmore Castle.
What did you do with these people?
Well, mostly we kept them here as leeway to negotiate opposition with the other factions to get them to cede territory in return for the safe return home of their beloved family members and friends.
Hostage. Okay. Cool.
Yes, killing was more the general's kind of sport, not mine.
So you were more the negotiator type,
Yes. I would say my function within the late King Chiron's court was more that of a diplomat than anything else.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Okay.
Yes, I suppose my letter writing to you rather is a continuation of that role.
Yeah, so what exactly are you hoping to get out of this?
My hope is to have Prince Asher deposed so that this frail peace, which he has so cleverly woven with his lackluster treaty, will become a more stable and permanent one. Because I believe that Asher right now is the weakest link in maintaining the, well, I hesitate to say peace. I often feel as though the war never really ended. It's more as if we've been at a ceasefire for however many years it's been.
Yeah.
We're still living in its shadow.
So who would you have replace him?
Well, I see great promise in the young Kaza that he keeps as a second.
Really? You don't want power for yourself?
Well, in my centuries of being alive, I have found that it is often safer to be in the shadow of power rather than power itself. Fewer risks.
So you're more the kind that likes to operate, be like the puppet master behind the curtain.
Well, I hesitate to say puppet master. I have no objection to playing second fiddle.
Alright then. So do you have any information to make this trip worth my while, or?
Well, aside from what I've already shared in those letters, I do have a vault in which I keep more, so it is my intention to use those letters you already have and the ones I still have to make a case to present to the Summit Council during a meeting.
And so, where do I play into this? If you had all of this information, why didn't you just go to the council yourself?
Well, as far as the council is concerned, I am a complete stranger aside from Asher, and obviously he's not going to assist me in his own downfall, so...
Sure, but you could have gone to, I don't know, anyone else. Why me?
Do you remember the magic games?
Yeah.
Well, that's where... I doubt you'll remember, but we did make brief eye contact in the stands.
You do look kind of familiar.
And, well, I have a feeling that both... Well, obviously I couldn't go to the Hunter faction to help me. That rather speaks for itself. And the Avians, well... My read is that they are rather favored by the Summit and would not so soon try to discredit one of its own members and, by extension, the institution as a whole.
So you went after me because you think the Murs are malleable? Weak?
No, not so much malleable. I believe that we share a genuine common goal.
Well, I don't think I disagree with you there.
But please, if you
I
have
would like to
any
see Asher off the
questions as to my motives, my past, whichever you wish to know, I am an open book to you.
Yeah, I think I find that most people who claim to be open books tend to not be. But so this is the crypt that you're staying in, yeah?
Yes, the main part of it, the grand hall.
It's a nice place to store dead people, I guess.
Yes, it has needed some remodeling over the centuries.
Still, though, basic design is nice, spacious, I guess. You mentioned you have vaults somewhere? I doubt you'll take me to go see them.
Yes, well, it's really just a big steel box full of old papers. It's not really an impressive sight, but the information is valuable nonetheless.
I'm still not getting why I'm here. Like, in person. This all could have been done over, like, a letter.
Yes, well, I've already sent so many letters, I figured we should at the very least meet face to face, as to build trust between us, because I understand that you have somewhat of a fraught past with vampires, and, well, my being a vampire would be naturally unsettling to you.
Well, I try not to judge people based on what faction they come from.
I try to do the same, but then again, I don't really have reason to hold a grudge against anyone. Not even vampires. As I became one of my own volition.
They still killed your family, though. It's gotta sting.
Well, if you knew my father and mother.
Oh.
Yes, they were never really the parenting sort.
Yeah. I get that. Getting raised in a siren school, you don't really get much parenting either, so.
So I remember when I was young, I had to have classes, obviously, and I remember vaguely learning about the merfolk, because you see the river that runs behind the castle, and sure you've seen it on your way here. That used to have quite
You should think about adding some stairs. That hill is a time to climb.
I do believe there were at one point, but erosion has swiftly dealt with that. But there was once a healthy population of river mers living there. And
River mers, yeah, we kind of thought that they died out.
yes, I very much thought the same, given how quiet those waters are these days.
Yeah. I don't think they are anymore, though. I think that's kind of the thing about people. You can think that you're destroying them all, but you'll be surprised. Tend to come back when you least expect them.
Yes, well, it's something I recognize myself in somewhat, being the last Rothmore. Without me, this castle what knowledge there is of the family history, all of it would be lost forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks being the last of your kind.
Mm-hmm. Would you perhaps like to see the hall from the above galleries?
Sure. Yeah. There's some nice stairs. Maybe a couple extra holes than they should have, but...
Yes, once I finish the upstairs part, I intend to fix this place up as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. You would save the crypt for last.
Yes. Needs the least amount of work anyway.
Yeah.
You might have seen the large room upstairs. The large rectangular one, that's where we used to have our feasts and balls back when the Rothmores were still human.
Oh.
It's sad to see it so quiet.
If you've been here for 500 years, did you just, like, leave? Like, how did it fall into such disrepair?
Well, a bit of a story there. You see, a good 200 years ago, I would say, towards the end of the war, I was cut down and killed by vampire hunters.
Oh.
And buried in a different crypt on the estate, one reserved for the lords only, and there I remained 200 years as this castle fell to ruins, and then I woke up only a few months past. Not sure how or why, but determined to make the most of it.
Oh. I didn't know that's... Can vampires fully die?
In theory, yes, with the use of special blades which only vampire hunters wield.
But, like, they can't just, like, starve to death.
Oh no, in theory they could be kept away from blood for centuries and still be alive, though it wouldn't be pleasant, certainly.
Then how did she... You said that you learned about mer people, but just from, like, the rivers.
Well,
But you also had people...
the river and both open sea mers, both.
You never happened to come across an important mer person, did you?
Well, there have been some across the centuries, perhaps if you could be more specific. A name, perhaps?
Adina?
Yes, that does ring a bell. Yes, I do believe there was once an Adina who would visit the vampire capital in King Chiron's court, but those visits were few and far between. Decades, at least.
King Chiron's court? Was she one of you?
She was both mer and vampire, though from what I remember from the few times we did see each other, she very much hated her vampire side, but couldn't do anything about it.
Oh.
She tried to
Okay.
hide it, certainly.
Yeah, I think she was really good at that.
She always tried visiting Chiron in the greatest of secrets.
So she worked for him?
Difficult to say, since I saw her so few times, but it would not surprise me if they had some sort of understanding between them. Though I couldn't vouch for that.
So everything that she did, everything that she did was...
I take it you knew her better than I did?
Yeah, you could say that. Actually, I think I'm starting to learn that I knew her worse.
It's a terrible thing to see someone so wrestle with who they are.
It's a terrible thing to betray your people. To try and change the very fabric of who they are.
I'm sorry if
Sorry.
bringing her up has brought back some disturbing memories for you.
No, sorry, I brought her up and I did it to myself. Thanks. For the information.
Well, I'm glad to
Yeah,
be
some things are better to know.
of assistance when it comes to information of all kinds.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe this partnership will be beneficial for both of us.
I do hope so, yes. I mean, if it means the end of Prince Asher getting away with escaping from his past, that would be a great pleasure to me already.
Yeah, me too. So what, you want me to call a meeting?
Yes, I would
Considering the way that Asher behaved at the last council meeting regarding me, I don't know how much sway I have with him.
Yes. If possible, and this is only my suggestion, feel free to correct me if possible, I would have Kor, your faction's leader, call a meeting and have me attend said meeting as an invited guest, during which I present both your letters and the ones I still have, and essentially expose the prince in all of his dark facets.
I mean, yeah, that could work.
Might be a bit early to say, since we haven't planned the details yet, or a time or place. Well, the place will be the building, of course, but a date.
Do you know... I feel like things like this need to be done at the right time.
I do agree, yes.
You don't want to just go off half-cocked and then end up having it get shoved right back in your face.
No, this is our... I hesitate to say it, but this is our one and only chance. Asher would take kindly to me rebelling against him.
I don't think he'd take very kindly to another faction bringing it up either.
No, he's done his best, from what I can tell, to hide his past, scoop it under the carpet.
Yeah. I know Cor and Percy would probably support it. I don't know the hunter leader though, but they'd probably support it too, right? Because they're hunters. Anyone not
yes.
being in charge of the vampires would serve them.
Yes, I doubt they would object to one vampire preventing the evidence if a more powerful vampire is the one to take the fall.
My biggest concern is Paris. He seems to support Asher no matter what he does. And if the mages and the vampires team up, I don't know.
Yes, I do remember them having a rather close relationship even then.
Yeah. Have a close relationship now, too. Looks like it hasn't changed. Wait. They had a close relationship back then, too?
For what I can remember, yes, they were certainly acquainted. And Paris was no stranger to being seen around the vampire capital or the general's personal residence.
So they're both in on it. They've got to be. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Oh, I have little doubt, but that, unfortunately, I do not have a stack of letters to prove.
I might know someone who might. I don't know. Paris seems to keep things a lot closer to her chest than Asher does. Maybe we wait until we figure out more about Paris. There's this place that she was warning me about that's been sealed for years. Maybe there's something in there that could prove her, I don't know, deceit.
Perhaps I would have to put some time into my research, but that is at least something we do have at the moment.
I could talk to some of the people I know on the Magic Council. See if they have any more recent documentation.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah. Maybe this could actually work. Anyway, you were showing me a tour, right?
Well...
Or were we just standing up here to be...
Well, sort of, yes. Well, there's not really much left to see. I mean, you've already seen what little ruins are left upstairs, I assume.
Yeah, mostly just scaffolding.
Yes. Well, there is the Great Hall.
I didn't actually see a Great Hall too much. I mean, it looked kind of dilapidated. I wouldn't really call it much of a hall, more like a... You know.
Oh, yes, it's... Well, in its heyday, it was one of the finest of its kind in the area.
I'm sure.
And the feasts that were had here were equally grand. But please, without further ado, allow me to show you the rest of this place.
What is this place?
Oh, you'll find out soon enough.
What are you doing? Stay the fuck away from me! Get back! No! What did you do to me?
I am so sorry for what you're about to endure, but it'll all be worth it in the end.
Fuck you.
Oh, you have no idea what a relief it is to have tasted blood for the first time in 200 years. Well, this was not exactly according to plan, but Oh well, I can work with this nonetheless. It's interesting that there should be a siren. There is only one other vampire I have turned in the last 500-600 years of my life, and that was also a siren. An avian by the name of Io. But they've been dead for, God, centuries, so this'll be the only one alive soon. Oh well. I do hope my little moment of impulse hasn't completely ruined my plans. Very well then. Until we meet next time, spiders.